And today, the Supreme Court has answered that question by a vote of 6-3.
The U.S. Supreme Court has just issued a major ruling.
Major Second Amendment case.
Major Supreme Court ruling.
Forget everything you thought you knew about traffic tickets. Right now, 10 massive changes to U.S. driving laws are locked in for January 2026. This isn't just new rules. This is a dramatic escalation in fines, penalties, and enforcement that will redefine what it means to be a legal driver in America. The impact. Thousands of dollars in unavoidable costs for people who haven't updated their knowledge. 10 major changes across drunk driving limits, distracted driving penalties, and automated enforcement are set to activate nationwide starting January 2026. Let's dive immediately into rule number 10. Rule number 10, hands-free cell phone laws getting much stricter. This change is designed to catch drivers completely off guard. Hands-free cell phone laws are expanding fast. Crucially, the fines are getting exponentially more expensive than what drivers are used to paying. You might think using your phone while driving is already illegal, right? Yes, that's true. But here's the problem most drivers are missing. Over a dozen new states are either creating brand new distracted driving laws or making their current laws much tougher with significantly higher penalties starting this January. In the past, fines for a first offense were small, maybe $50 or $100. Annoying, but not financially crippling. Starting in January 2026, states like Georgia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania are jumping their first offense fines up to $200 or even $500. Get caught a second time using your phone, and you are looking at fines between $500 and $1, $0. Plus, points are now sticking to your license for years. This increases your car insurance rate significantly. States like California, New York, and Washington are going even harder. Repeat offenders face mandatory, expensive driver education classes that they must pay for themselves. They might have to perform community service. In serious cases, they can lose their license completely for 30, 60, or even 90 days. This isn't a minor infraction anymore. It's a major financial and legal risk. If this breakdown has already shown you a financial trap you need to avoid, take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. Help Law Advisor keep you safe and informed. Rule number 9, speed cameras and red light cameras everywhere. Automated enforcement is exploding all across America. Speed cameras and red light cameras are being installed in thousands of new spots. Two things are happening simultaneously. The fines they charge are going up, and the margin they allow you to go over the speed limit before ticketing you is going down dramatically. I know what many of you are thinking. These cameras are just revenue generators for cities. I hear that argument constantly. There is a legitimate debate about whether these cameras truly improve safety or whether they primarily boost government bank accounts. Studies show evidence supporting both sides of that argument. But regardless of your personal feelings on fairness or effectiveness, the reality is simple. They are here. They are spreading like wildfire to new jurisdictions, and they will absolutely catch you and send you a ticket if you are not hyper-aware of your speed and position. Drivers must adjust their behavior to the omnipresence of automated enforcement systems. Rule number 8, blood alcohol limits. Dropping lower than ever, this change is extremely serious and will catch a massive number of people off guard who think they are being safe. Several states are lowering their legal blood alcohol concentration limits and dramatically increasing DUI punishments starting in January 2026. For decades, the standard limit in almost every state has been 0.08% BAC. But Utah made headlines years ago when it dropped its legal limit to 5% BAC. Now, other states are following Utah's precedent in a major way. States like Washington, Oregon, Colorado, and Hawaii are either putting 0.05% BAC limits into effect now or are very seriously considering it, going from 0.08% down to 0. 0.05% might not sound like a huge difference numerically, but in real life, practical terms, it is massive. At 0.08%, a 180-pound man might safely consume 4 standard drinks over 4 hours. At 0.05%, that same man could hit the legal limit after just 2 drinks in the same time frame. If you have ever driven home after just 2 drinks thinking you were totally fine, your margin for error is shrinking rapidly. Many drivers are currently 1 single drink away from a potential DUI charge in these states. Rule number 7, electric vehicle owners paying new registration fees. This rule is about closing a widening revenue gap. Starting in January 2026, numerous states are imposing new registration fees on electric vehicles, or significantly increasing the fees they already have. The reason is simple: road maintenance. Gas taxes are the primary way states fund fixing roads, building highways, and maintaining transportation infrastructure. Since EV drivers don't pay gas taxes when they charge their vehicles, that funding source is shrinking fast. States are now fixing that revenue gap. In states like Texas, Ohio, Virginia, and Georgia, EV owners will now have to pay a specific annual registration fee ranging from $100 up to $200 or more. This fee is specifically because EV drivers do not contribute to the gas tax system. If you own an electric vehicle, budget for this new annual cost immediately. Rule number 6, street racing penalties. Getting extremely harsh. This change applies even if you are not the one driving recklessly. States are responding to a large increase in illegal street racing and dangerous driving behaviors. Places like Florida, Nevada, Georgia, and California are putting in much harsher punishments. We're talking thousands of dollars in fines, immediate vehicle impoundment, loss of license, and even felony criminal charges for repeat offenders. Look at the specifics in Florida. If police catch you street racing or committing defined reckless driving, they can impound your vehicle right on the spot for up to 30 days. It doesn't matter if you need it for work or family, it is towed away immediately. You then pay towing fees, storage fees, and impound fees, easily adding up to thousands of dollars. The legal definition of reckless driving is also broadening, catching drivers who commit severe speeding offenses that were previously just high-level misdemeanors. Rule number 5, driver license renewals. Requiring more testing. This catches a lot of long-term drivers by surprise because they have been renewing their license the same easy way for years. Driver license renewal requirements are getting stricter in several states starting in January 2026. You might not be able to renew your license as easily or quickly as you have in the past. Several states are requiring additional testing when you renew, especially for drivers above a certain age. States like Illinois, California, Florida, and Pennsylvania are implementing or expanding requirements for vision tests, written knowledge tests, and in some cases, actual road tests for drivers generally over 70 or 75 years old. The logic is based on studies showing that vision deterioration and slower reaction times accompany age. While this makes sense from a safety perspective, many older drivers who have driven flawlessly for 40 or 50 years find being subjected to a road test just to renew their license insulting and unnecessary. Rule number 4, parking fines and traffic tickets. Costing more. This rule might seem small, but it hits your wallet over and over again. Parking fines and moving violation fines are increasing across the board in cities and states nationwide, starting in January 2026. Many jurisdictions haven't adjusted fine structures in years. They are now playing catch-up by raising everything significantly. What used to be a $25 parking ticket might now cost you $50 or $75. A $100 speeding ticket might now cost $150 to $250, depending on the severity. These increases are primarily designed to account for inflation, increased enforcement costs, and to discourage violations more effectively. The simple logic is that if a fine doesn't hurt financially, people treat it as a cost of doing business, not a deterrent. Rule number 3, mandatory dash cam requirements in some states. This rule is brand new, and while only a few states are doing this now, it could spread quickly. Some states are now requiring or strongly encouraging drivers to install dash cameras in their vehicles. In certain cases, having a dash cam can get you significant insurance discounts or help you avoid liability entirely in an accident. States like Nevada and parts of California are testing programs where commercial drivers, rideshare drivers, and even regular personal vehicle owners are being incentivized to install forward-facing dash cameras. Dash cam footage provides indisputable evidence in accidents, helps law enforcement investigate crashes, and reduces false insurance claims. Some insurance companies are now offering 5% to 15% discounts on premiums if you install an approved dash cam and agree to provide footage if there is an accident. A 10% discount could save you hundreds of dollars annually, but you must weigh that against the privacy concerns of constantly recording your driving environment. Rule number 2, higher penalties for uninsured drivers. This rule is hitting people who drive without proper insurance coverage with extreme force. The penalties are becoming much more severe across multiple states. Starting in January 2026, states like Arizona, Michigan, North Carolina, and Tennessee are dramatically increasing fines and punishments for operating a vehicle without valid insurance. Driving without insurance has always been illegal, but the penalties used to be relatively light, a couple $100 fine and a warning for a first offense. That is changing fast. If you're pulled over and cannot prove you have active car insurance, you could face fines starting at $500 and going up to $1,000 or more for the very first offense. Your vehicle can be impounded on the spot, stacking towing and storage fees on top of the financial penalty. Your driver's license can be suspended immediately for 30 to 90 days. Your vehicle registration might also be suspended, meaning you cannot legally drive that car at all until you get insurance, pay all fines, and go through a costly reinstatement process. Rule number 1, new graduated licensing rules for young drivers. This affects young drivers and parents of teenagers in a major way. Several states are making their graduated driver licensing programs much stricter starting in January 2026 featuring more restrictions, longer waiting periods, and tougher requirements before young drivers can get full unrestricted licenses. These programs exist to reduce accidents among teen drivers, who statistically have the highest crash rates of any age group. Under the new rules, young drivers, typically under 18, will face longer learner's permit periods. They might be required to hold a permit for 12 months instead of 6. They will need to complete more hours of supervised driving practice with a parent or guardian, often 60 to 100 hours instead of the previous 30 to 40 hours. Nighttime driving restrictions are also getting stricter, with some states banning teen drivers from the road after 9:00 p.m. instead of 11:00 p.m. Passenger restrictions are tougher, prohibiting any passengers under 21 who aren't immediate family members for the first 6 to 12 months after they obtain their license. These rules fundamentally slow down the process of getting full driving privileges. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more legal breakdowns. And remember, stay safe, stay smart, and never forget, knowledge is the ultimate defense. I will see you in the next one.